I'm Cadet Conacher, and this is UAlbany's Mission Analysis Brief. This is an unclassified brief that will contain information on our area of interest, area of operation, light and weather, and enemy analysis. This brief was planned and conducted by myself, Cadet Tamang, Cadet Bryant, Cadet Verbicki, Cadet Airy, Cadet Moran, Cadet O'Connell, and Cadet Castro.
Good afternoon, I am Cadet Tamang and I'll be briefing area of interest. So the area of interest is everything outside our platoon AO that can influence our fight on Objective Lion. This includes artillery, enemy reserves, early warning networks, and nearby civilian areas that support enemy maneuver. Enemy brigade artillery consists of one battery of 2A65, 152mm howitzer that is located to the south around Whiskey Lima 733-743. It has a range of 29 kilometers, which covers a company AO and can fire within 10 to 5 minutes. The trigger for the use of 2A65 is the loss of 2 or more squads of combat power. This matters because if we hit the enemy hard on Lion, we could trigger that response. Enemy reserve is sitting in the Central Valley Population Center with a suspected location of Whiskey Lima 738762. The reserve consists of 1 BRM-3K and 2 BMD-3s with 22 personnel. Their trigger is either positive identification of U.S. mechanized forces or the loss of one enemy stronghold. If committed, they will likely move along Route 4 or Honda, which directly affects our platoon on Objective Lion. The enemy also uses early warning networks like local Denovian sympathizers and likely some OPs near the objective. That means our movement could be compromised before PL Birmingham if we aren't disciplined. Briefing next will be Cadet O'Connell.
I'm Cadet O'Connell. I'll be briefing the AO. Our AO is bounded by 74 to 77 northing, 75 to 77 easting. The terrain in the AO is severely restricted, which will limit both enemy and our movement. The AO also has gravel roads, fire breaks, trails, and clearings that intersect, which will allow fast dismounted movement and vehicle movement. The MSRs and ASRs are restricted or severely restricted, preventing vehicle movement, which are main supply routes and alternate supply routes. And the terrain will also limit the enemy's ability to quickly egress from the objective or receive reinforcements. The obstacles consist of ponds, lake, swamps, which are obstacles to dismounted and vehicle movement. Some hill features have gradients exceeding 40%, which are also obstacles. The existing obstacles will limit the ability of friendly forces to conduct swift movement, maneuver around Objective Line, as well as limit the enemy's ability to either advance towards or away from friendly positions. And there are no reinforced obstacles on Objective Line. The key terrain will be here at Black Cat Mountain. The advantage for us, if we hold it, will prevent enemy forces from having access to Route Hyundai. And if the enemy holds it, they will be able to move reinforcements and resupply closer to their objective. Avenues of approach, there will be multiple. You can handrail Route Honda, Toyota, or fight through Mountaintop or Florence Mountaintop to the objective. That's the area of operations I have.
So for observation and field of fire, the enemy sits on elevated positions, giving them better observations and field of fires than we have. The forest limits visibility down to 50 meters in some areas. However, if we use the terrain properly, we can remain hidden until we are 200 to 300 meters from the objective. Cover and concealment. The forested terrain gives us good concealment. There are rock formations, vegetation that support massed movement. Roads, hilltops, and exposed area are dangerous and will be avoided. Briefing next will be Cadet Bryant.
All right, I'm Cadet Bryant. I'll be briefing the weather for the day before and the day of the operation. So the day before the operation, the 26th of November, the humidity will be 45%. The temperature will be a high of 51 degrees and low of 33 degrees. The BMNT is going to be 0518. Sunrise will be at 0655. Sunset will be at 1631. The EENT will be at 1807. The moonrise will be at 1609, and the moonset will be at 0525. Precipitation is 20%, illumination 18%. The cloud covering and ceiling is going to be 30% at 3,500 feet. The winds are 4 knots from the northeast. The effects on this day, cold cats, slightly windy, and possibly slippery terrain. Cold weather will decrease the effective range of weapon systems due to the cold air. It will increase the drag of the rounds as they go out of the weapon. Troops can suffer from hypothermia from the low temperatures. The date of the operation, the 27th of November, humidity is 65%. Temperatures are a high of 40 degrees, a low of 24 degrees. BMNT is 0519. Sunrise is 0656. Sunset is 1630. EENT is 1807. Moonrise is 1636. Moonset is 0627. Precipitation is 60%. Illumination is 22. The cloud covering and ceiling is 70% at 1,500 feet, and the winds are coming from the east at 15 knots. The effects on this day are cold, windy, and a high chance of rain. Cold cats, wet, slippery terrain, especially because we're going near wetlands such as marshes, and we're also going towards the bottom of hills, so we have the runoff from the top of the hills. Cold weather will affect the range of the weapon systems, again decreasing the range due to drag. It also will cause the thickening of lubrications like CLP. Troops can suffer hypothermia and frostbite due to the rain and the cold, and the wind speed is significant enough to distort the sound of gunfire. Next briefing will be Cadet Moran.
I'm Cadet Moran. We're going to be briefing enemy forces, enemy composition, strength, and disposition in our area of operations. So the enemy forces are on Objective Lion are tasked with retaining east-west avenues of approach in the area of the operations en route forward for the purpose of preventing friendly forces' freedom of maneuver along it. The enemy composition on Objective Lion consists of one section led by a section sergeant, the platoon sergeant for the platoon in our area of operations, one BMD-3 infantry fighting vehicle, and one attached anti-armor team, as well as the section. So the enemy platoon is suspected to be reduced to 90%, and that's across all of their platoons. So the enemy in our area of operations is also suspected to be reduced to 90%. No key leaders are wounded in action or killed in action, and they are expected to have all their key weapon systems. So the disposition of the enemy is one platoon sergeant, one section, and one anti-armor team located on the hilltop of Objective Lion. So their section will include two. The attached anti-armor team will include one team leader and two RPGs with rocket resupply available. They will have one PKM and one team leader here as part of one of their teams from their section, and they will have another team with a rocket and a team leader as well. The enemy, they also have one BMD located en route forward to the south of Objective Lion that we suspect would be defending against mounted or unmounted approach through Road Toyota or trails along this way. Next will be Cadet Castro briefing the enemy's capabilities.
Hello, I'm Cadet Castro. I'm going to be briefing enemy capabilities and recent activities. Alright, the enemy is an airborne infantry motorized platoon and is proficient in conventional tactics. The enemy wears jungle camouflage uniforms and is expected to conceal themselves in local vegetation. The enemy is supplied by the 32831 Special Purpose Forces, and their unconventional units conduct sustainment operations for the conventional forces en route forward. The enemy also has night vision technology, but is limited to team leaders and above. The enemy also has encrypted communications equipment down to the team level. Due to the recent defeats, their morale is expected to be impacted and lowered. Enemy has access to reinforcing obstacle materials. They have direct support of an enemy 120 millimeter self-propelled motor section. There's a probability that the enemy is employing observation posts in vicinity of Objective Lion. For recent activities, the enemy has been static for 72 hours, but has been resupplied within the last 24 to 30 hours, and it is assessed that they possess the means to establish strong defensive positions that are dug in with adequate overhead cover to resist indirect fires. And up next will be Cadet Conacher.
I'm Cadet Conacher, and I'm going to be briefing the most likely and most dangerous course of action. So getting started with the most likely course of action, we can expect enemy to use mechanized forces to defend Route Toyota as well as Route 4 in order to maintain key terrain. And for the most dangerous course of action, if the enemy were to detect our operations early, they would send in reinforcements to OBJ Lion using their armor advantage in order to repel our attack.